Pick one. What do we take here? So we're trying to reanimate. What do we want for Reanimator? I know what I'd want if I wasn't Reanimator, which is probably Upheaval. I might just take it anyways. There's really nothing great for Reanimator. Although, there's a really good argument for Golgari Signet. Just mana ramp is always important in Cube. No matter what deck you're playing just about, you almost always want Signets. Maybe the only exception is Mono Red, but even then you still play like Mox Ruby or Mana Crypt like we saw in the last draft. I think we just grabbed the Golgari Signet here. I'm happy enough taking that. Upheaval and Signet go together like bread and butter, but Signet just seems like it's a more open card. Yeah, we'll take Signet. Now we have Painful Truths to draw. Gifts Ungiven, which we can certainly build around, because if we can get like an Unburial Rites, it becomes a much higher pick with Gifts Ungiven. Vendilion Click. I kind of like the Gifts Ungiven. Let's just grab that right now. We have Sower of Temptation, Desecration Demon. None of these are great. Faithless Looting, actually. Faithless Looting is good. Good way for us to discard cards. I really like Kolgan's Command, by the way. This card's surprisingly good in Vintage Cube. Killing an artifact and making them discard a card at instant speed, or like shooting a Planeswalker, because 2 damage creature or player, and like making them discard, or like there's a lot of flexibility in this deck, with this card. This card just can do a lot of different things, and destroying things like artifacts is not to be underestimated. I think this card doesn't get picked highly enough, but obviously we want the Faithless Looting because we're very specifically focusing on what we're trying to do here. We have Corpse Dance, so we could go a slightly different route this time and try and maybe go more sneak attack. I don't mind Creeping Tar Pit either as fixing. Glenelendra Archmage is always disgusting. I think that I might just take Glenelendra. It buys us so much time, or just locks an opponent out of a game once we get a finisher. Like, it lets us have a lot of time to set up. There's so little that they can do about a Glenelendra Archmage for at least like 2 or 3 turns. It buys them immense amount of time. So I think I just take the Glenelendra. And we're hoping that we can get either some reanimation or like a fatty fairly soon. Whew. Okay. We have Balance, which is interesting. That could actually be really good for us. We don't play a lot of lands necessarily, or we don't need a lot of lands if we're Reanimator. And we're trying to maybe splash white because I'd like to get the Unburial Rites, the Gifts Ungiven. That being said, we already have a red card, so like blue, white, red, black is not really where I want to be. I want to be like mostly blue, black if possible. There's the Makeshift Mannequin, which is just reanimation, so I might just grab that. That's fine. And we have Theomancer and Tameo. I don't think I care about anything else. Thalia is good against us, but not good for us. Lightning Bolt is fine against creature decks, but probably not that big of a deal otherwise. I think that I like the Theomancer. Theomancer is just a great way to stall a game. So we've got some good ways to board stall right now. We have a Theomancer and we have Glenelendra. Glenelendra can get rid of a lot of non-creature spells, and a Theomancer just locks down the board where they just can't attack through it. It's very hard to attack through an army of 1/1 Death Touchers, so kind of like that. We have Oblivion Ring in white, Everflowing Chalice for more ramp. Murderous Cut is okay just as, you know, straight removal. It's fine to have 1 or 2 pieces. Top could be okay. I need some fetch lands or something to make top useful, though. Kind of like the top. It might be Chalice, though. I do like Chalice. Like I said, any mana ramp is always kind of good. I think that you can always use it. Even playing it on turn 2 so that we can turn 3 play like Glenelendra, Gifts, or Makeshift Mannequin seems pretty great. I think we'll just take the Chalice. Muldrifter. Muldrifter is always good. Not mind taking that. Temple of Epiphany would be decent fixing, but I'll hold out for the non-tap lands if possible. I'd like to hit like a dual land or at least a shock land. Temple of Epiphany not being able to be searched by a fetch land and not being not coming into play untapped is a pretty big hit against it. The Scry is an upside, obviously, but I'm not super married to it. I'd rather just get some better fixing. We have Massacre Worm as our first kind of finisher. We could take Vindicate if we really feel like we're going to splash white, but there's no real reason to yet. I think we just take the Massacre Worm. If I have to, it's a finisher. I'd prefer to have something better, but right now it's not looking likely. Or, I mean, maybe not likely, but it hasn't happened yet anyways. We've got Ancient Grudge, Sidisi, Chandra. Ancient Grudge could be okay. We have the green possibly to splash for the flashback. Like, don't even need to play any lands that are green, just Golgari Signet's okay. And killing problem artifacts is always nice. I don't think I care about Sidisi, so I don't mind an Ancient Grudge just as a sideboard card. Desecration Demon, Moat. Moat can absolutely destroy us. I might just want to get rid of that. Because in red, blue, and black, there's no way to destroy an enchantment, and we might not actually have a finisher that's flying, so Moat could just be game against us. That being said, I can actually play Desecration Demon, and nobody grabbed Moat yet, so I guess I'll just get Desecration Demon. Angel of Serenity is a decent finisher against some decks. It's kind of like Massacre Worm. It kills a bunch of creatures and comes into play. Or you can use it to rebuy your own stuff. A little bit less likely, but possible. Academy Rector, Edric, Siege Gang. None of those cards matter to us. None of these do either. Okay. So we need a finisher, some more ways to get things into our graveyard, and some animation. So we need basically everything is what we're looking for. We have some card draw. We have the Gifts and Giffen and the Maul Drifters. So that's good. Ooh. Black Lotus, Bitter Blossom, Cryptic, Mystic, Wormcoil Engine. Wormcoil Engine's always gross. Dark Petition. Ooh, there's a lot of options here. The most broken card by far in the pack is Black Lotus and Channel. Those cards are both disgusting. I love Channel. I think we're just going to take Black Lotus here. We don't have any way to really make it work yet. I mean, a turn 1 of Theomancer is fine, but it's probably not winning us a game. We really need a way to, like, Entomb and Animate Dead or something on turn 1 with Black Lotus to make it really pop. If we can get like an Entomb and an Animate Dead, then suddenly Black Lotus is one of the best cards, if not the best card in our entire deck. So I take it just because of that, but we need to find the other pieces to make it work. Era of Falconwrath is a way for us to discard. Worn Power Stone can ramp us. This can fix mana and ramp. Gitaxian Probe's a good way to see if the way's clear and also draw us extra cards. Right now I have no way to get things into the graveyard, so I think that it might just be the Air Falcon. Well, okay, I have the Faithless Looting, but Gifts and Faithless doesn't seem like enough. I might need the Air, although Air should probably wheel. To be fair, this card should definitely wheel. Yeah, maybe Gitaxian Probe. Probe or Signet. I have a fair number of Signets and fast mana already. Kind of like just making sure that our opponent doesn't have like a counter spell or removal before we go all in on an animation turn. And drawing cards is always valuable for us, so I don't mind just grabbing that. Dak Faden, another good way to discard cards, and counter spell, which just buy us a lot of time and I generally be good. I think we just grab the Dak here. Living Death is not really what we're trying to do. I feel like Living Death and Recurring Nightmare are two reanimation spells, but they're not really it for the Reanimator deck. Like, you're not really trying to, you know, Living Death back a bunch of big fatties. You're just trying to, you just really need one. You only need one Ulamog. You don't need, like, Ulamog and Gristlebrand and Inkwell Leviathan. And a lot of the times you're going to give your opponent a bunch of cards too. And it's just slower, right? Like, I'd rather be a fast deck where I can try and, like I said, like, Black Lotus into Entomb and Animate Dead right away. Oh, Kitty brought me his toys. Sorry about the meowing there. Oh, hey, bud. Oh. Apologize. We're getting a minor interruption by the cat. Gristledad here seems about the best pick for us. Marsh Flats would be good fixing, and I don't have any fixing yet, but mana's not too terrible. Just blue, black, red so far. Gristlebrand just being one of, if not the best reanimation target means that I think I just take it here. If we're really trying to reanimate, this is one of the best things we can get. Trinket Mage to get Black Lotus, that's a thing. We also have Gush for card draw. Cabal Ritual, but we're not really going to be doing that. You need to have a lot of, like, the early reanimation with, like, an Entomb to make Cabal Ritual good. And then it's like a Black Lotus. You try and go off really, really early. I think the Trinket Mage is fine. We might pick up another cheap artifact, too. Maybe a Moxen or, like, Soul Ring, hopefully, or something next pack. It'd be really nice. I don't think I care about Gush that much. Dark Ritual, Ancestral Vision, Ultimate Price. So those are our options. I think we just take Vision, like the card draw. Don't feel like we need the removal too much. We have... throwing his toy for him. We have the Pack Rat as another discard outlet. Spell Pierce is fine. I think I like the Pack Rat. Good way to discard, and it can just take over a game all on its own, so it's kind of another way to attack. Recurring Nightmare. In this deck, like I said, normally I don't love it in a Reanimator deck, because the problem is that you want to use it a bunch of times, and you're generally going to be using it for like a bunch of little creatures that come into play effects. Muldrifter is a really good one with it. That kind of thing, though. However, with this deck, we have Trinket Mage, we already have Muldrifter, and we have a Theomancer, which gets us fuel for Recurring Nightmare over and over and over every single turn, because we can just constantly sacrifice the snake. Or we can also do things with Pack Rat, right? Pack Rat can make a bunch of rats and keep reanimating other things as well, so that actually seems fine for us. Cryptic Command, Mystic Confluence, and Dark Petition all wield. I can't take Cryptic because it's just too much blue. I think that Mystic Confluence is what we want. Good control card. Really flexible. I think it's actually just better than Cryptic Command normally. Dark Petition might be the pick, but we're less about silver bullets in this deck than we are about kind of control and going a little bit later. This doesn't seem like the super fast combo Reanimator deck. Shallow Grave is interesting, but we have none of the stuff to go with it yet. Alright, Era Falcon Wrath. No, I don't think I'm going to play Dark Confidant. Really don't want to reveal Gristlebrand off of that. Take a Quicken here instead. Maloku, sure. It's always possible that we find an opposition, and if we get opposition, I can play Maloku, opposition, and like a Theomancer, Pack Rat. Those kinds of cards go really well with on opposition. Take Song of the Dryads. It's a way for them to just get rid of like a Gristlebrand or Ulamog or something. A lot of difficult creatures for opponents to deal with get a lot easier when they have a Song of the Dryads. Oh, on-color Mox. That seems pretty great for us. Would love Mana Drain or Careful Study. I think that as much as I like the draw and discard of Careful Study, I'm pretty sure I'd take Mana Drain. This card's just too absurd. But Mox Jet's good. I'm very happy getting Mox Jet. I think that's just the best thing, especially when we have the Trinket Mage to get it too. Now we have Black Lotus and Mox Jet. Whew, I would love this deck if we can just pick up an Entomb and another like cheap animation spell or two. Exhume, Animate Dead, that kind of thing. Jace the Mind Sculptor, Necrotol, Verdant Catacombs. Catacombs for fixing is pretty good. Don't really care about Necrotol. That should even wheel. It's good with Recurring Nightmare against creature decks, but I'm not super sold on it against, like, Catacombs or Jace just seems a lot more powerful. Pretty sure we just take the Mind Sculptor here. This is becoming a bit more control-y. It's still definitely a Reanimator deck. I mean, we're certainly going to try and get back Gristlebrand with either the Makeshift Mannequin or Recurring Nightmare. So we're still going for it, no question. But we're just kind of doing it in a little bit of a slower fashion than the last deck. The last deck was a lot more focused on dumping it early. Didn't have a lot of these stall tactic kind of cards. Or the grindy cards like Recurring Nightmare. This card just grinds and grinds and grinds. It's a lot of inevitability. You just do it turn after turn after turn after turn. This is very interesting. So we have Tinker. I don't have a target for it yet, but it seems strong enough that I should probably grab it anyways. We might find something. And we do have all of the correct artifacts to go with it. Badlands is good fixing. Frost Titan could be just another value finisher for Recurring Nightmare. I think that Tinker just has the highest upside. Misty Rainforest is good. There's a lot of good fixing there. I'm really sad that we're passing all this fixing. We're going to need to get it eventually. Passing another one here for a very important reanimate. We need Gristlebrand in the graveyard, and we need a way to reanimate it. And, well, reanimate does exactly what it says, so I will take it. It is as advertised. Ponder. Love drawing cards. Let's just grab the Ponder lickety-split. Liliana of the Veil. Ooh, that's another way for us to discard, and it's good control. Stop our opponents from having creatures, and we get to get Gristlebrand into the graveyard easily off of it. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Venser, Duress, Sword of Light and Shadow. Venser's good with Reanimate. Recurring Nightmare. Duress is kind of just good in general. Wheel of Fortune's fun, but maybe not necessary. I think we just take the Venser. Our mana is pretty dicey. We didn't get the mana that we needed. Okay, there's Animate Dead. Now we've got some good ways to get Gristlebrand into the graveyard early. It looks like we're not going to get a target for Tinker, though, unfortunately. So yeah, let's just grab Animate Dead. Mesmeric Fiend, Careful Study. Shardless Agent. Yeah, I like Careful Study. Pretty sure we take out the Faithless Looting and maybe even Dak Faden at this point. We'll see, though. I don't have a lot of fixing for it, and I mean, we've got a pretty solid deck without it. Una's Prowler is another way to discard. I already have Air, Packrat, Liliana, maybe Dak Faden, Careful Study, Gifts Ungiven. I think that we've got enough. Might just hate something from someone else. What do we not want to see? War Priest of Thune does kill Animate Dead or Recurring Nightmare. Maybe I'll just get rid of that. Mizumi Grave Robber. Sure. I'm not splashing green, so there's no reason to grab Temple of Malady. Grave Robber is good against us, and we can use it ourselves if we really feel like the game's going to grind out that long. I don't see a deck that would happen against, but I mean, just in case, maybe there's something that I'll think of as sideboarding against a certain deck. I can't think of the situation, but who knows. Take a Parallax Wave. Wow, that is a stupid late Monastery Mentor. This card's really nasty. We really like Tropical Island, too. Alright, take Fire Drinker and Goblin Dark Dwellers. Looks like we have our deck. Might cut Massacre Worm. I have a bunch of reanimation, though, and not a lot of great reanimation targets besides Gristlebrand. So I think that Massacre Worm needs to be in there just as another option. It's too bad we never got anything for the Tinker. 25 cards. We can definitely get away with 16 lands because of the Mox Jet. Maybe 15 with Black Lotus, Chalice, and Signet. I don't think so. Black Lotus being only one turn is a huge downside that way. You still need other lands to be able to play afterwards unless you're just straight winning that turn, which is going to be very hard for us to do. We have to, like, Careful Study into Animate Dead on turn 1, which means that we already have to have a land because it's 2 colors. I have a very sad kitty. I don't know if you guys can hear him crying in the background. He wants some pets. I'll have to take a break after this, I guess, between rounds and give him some love and attention. Got our special guest star, the kitty. What do I take out? Gifts Ungiven might not be that good. I can get a bunch of things into our graveyard, I suppose. I feel like I might just take that out. What else do we have? What else do I take out here? I still like Muldrifter a lot. It's really good with Recurring Nightmare. I can just evoke it and then try and Recurring Nightmare it back later. Ponder's Study. I like all these. I might just take out Makeshift Mannequin. I already have Reanimate, Animate Dead, and Recurring Nightmare. Recurring Nightmare being, recurring is a really good reason to not worry about another animation spell. And I'm not trying to get a lot of really big things out of my graveyard. Like, a Makeshift Mannequin on a Venser just seems super medium. It's really only going to be good with Gristlebrand, and I have other ways to get that out already. I only have one really great finisher for a Makeshift Mannequin, and I already have 2 other cards that get it, and cheaper. So I think that's fine. Sort by color, fix our mana, and I think we'll go ahead with this. Definitely need more red. 2 red is not going to do it. Or 1 red is certainly not going to do it. Maybe 3. And then we have 6, 7, 8 black sources, 7 blue sources, and 3 red. I want a lot of blue because that's where all of our card draw is. So that'll smooth out the draw a little bit towards black. This is where our deck is having a lot of issues. We did not get any good mana. I could have taken it more aggressively, but we also just didn't see a lot of it. Like, I saw a few fetch lands, but I never really saw a lot of dual lands. I saw bad lands, but no Volcanic Island, no Underground Sea, none of the shock lands. So nothing great for these Grixis colors. Alright, as dicey as the mana is, I think this is what we're going to go with, and let's jam. Wow, alright, now this is a hand. Let's keep this. Really hope we don't get, like, duressed really early.